Viewers like you make this program possible. Support your local PBS station.
More than just mint juleps, KFC, and that infamous 2-minute horse race, Kentucky is a place rife with tradition. A border state between the South and the Midwest, Chef Ed Lee's adopted home is known for innovative use of ingredients as well as classic techniques and recipes. Few other landlocked places in America can lay claim to such a diverse breadth of culinary customs. Gamey mutton barbecue, funky cured country ham, sweet, viscous, mineral-rich sorghum, and even a local river fish caviar. And of course, bourbon. Enter the mind of a chef.
All curious chefs are just fascinated by their surroundings. Well, that is intense. They don't teach you this in cooking school.
I knew very little about Kentucky when I moved down there. And I kind of did so purposefully. I knew I was going to the South, whatever that meant, at the time. They call Kentucky the bluegrass state, and I have never experienced it, but apparently there's some kind of grass, if you look at it at a certain angle, it kind of looks bluish. But one of the things that it stands for, to me, is there's incredible agriculture there. It's kind of everything that you initially think it's going to be. Rolling hills, it's horse country, it's bourbon country. And it's a place that for one reason or another hasn't been as industrialized as other states have. For one reason or another, it's not been exactly culturally on the map as other states have. Hasn't been influenced by as many outsiders, and so you have this sort of a preserved culture and a preserved landscape. I think the culture of Kentucky is one of community. You will immediately find people who will sort of grab you and say, come on in. The water's warm in here, and you're like, well, why not?
We're here in Princeton, Kentucky with my dear friend, Linton Hopkins. Linton is the master of ham. He's the ham master.
Which means you're the student of ham.
Yes. Is this 12-month ham, 14-month?
Feeling it. I'm feeling like we're above 12, definitely. What's so great, of course, no preservatives, and we're looking at ham, brown sugar, and salt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's so pure about it. All right, there's the score. And then I'm just going to peel. With Kentucky, in mountain hams, a lot of the differences, not only purity of ingredients, but this is just brown sugar and salt. In Virginia, you get into the chilies. Tennessee really goes black pepper crazy, which is awesome for the ham.
Linton Hopkins is one of my heroes. He's a chef in Atlanta. He runs a society which really brings together people who really want to understand the country hams of the American South.
Isn't that beautiful? After the peel is when we stop, and then we just start bringing this piece down and slowly exposing the meat.
You keep slicing, I'll keep eating.
It's true. You just actually will never stop eating.
There's a couple iconic products or ingredients in Kentucky that I think defines the people, the spirit, and also the cuisine. And country ham's right up there at the top of the list. And Colonel Newsom's, I think, is one of those treasures that's sort of holding a torch to this tradition.
It's funny that for this ham, the official name of the company is Colonel Newsom's Country Ham, but I never say that. I always say it's Nancy Newsom's ham or it's Nancy's ham.
It's
So,
awesome.
Let's shut the door behind you.
ridiculous.
Want to keep any insect that might be living right now.
Wow.
You go inside and you literally feel like you have been stepping through a time portal.
God, I love the smell. It's like heaven.
You're breathing in mold, but it's a very delicious mold. You can almost like close your eyes and see all the spores and the fungi just like kind of falling on your clothes.
Each ham house has its own mold. So the molds that come out of this smokehouse will not be like molds from another ham house.
Technically, it is exactly the same way as our grandfather was doing it, 2 generations ago. So in a sense, you are stepping back in time.
It's just a part of me. It's a part of my history, it's a part of my soul, it's a part of my family that is ongoing.
Look at the lacquer.
It is the smell of fecundity. It is the smell.
That's right.
It's the smell of a beautiful death. We're gonna make a beautiful asparagus ham salad.
Yeah, we're just right here in Spring.
How you want to plate this?
We're gonna build ribbons and basically like an artful pile.
Oh,
If you want to cut some asparagus,
Thanks for bringing this intensely.
some equipment should be a little dangerous. I've got the charred onions.
And these are Vidalia onions?
Yeah, we're right in the beginning of the season. Country ham and meat, we're told coming up through culinary school, it's all about center of plate.
Right.
And I like the idea of country ham as light.
Yeah,
Because vegetables, and you found this out too, change everything about cooking.
sure.
All right, and then let's get over a little of the goat cheese. Grate some of the pecan. We'll make a powder.
I love the grating of the pecans.
My sense memory of eating pecans is this big piece, and you're chasing it with the fork all around it. So it's the idea of now the flavor is going to get all the way around. Yeah, let's just dress a little vinaigrette. Reduce sorghum and citrus and a little parsley.
It's a beautiful dish.
A shaved country ham and asparagus salad with goat cheese, citrus, and charred Vidalia.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
What is spoon bread? Is it a custard? Is it a bread? Is it a...
It's cornbread souffle, but it's a really old Kentucky tradition.
Wita's one of my best friends. She really sort of took me in, and for me represented someone who just really embodied the spirit of a Kentucky chef.
And this is your cornmeal?
We always use white cornmeal for company.
Mm-hmm. Why?
And the yellow cornmeal is not polite. It's not for polite
Oh,
company.
really?
It has a little salt in it and
Yeah, you want the
baking powder.
Baking powder?
Yep.
I'm going to give you the butter. I'm going to do the egg yolks.
Okay. I don't know if I ever actually measure the butter. You need it a little bit buttery. It's
How
about.
am I supposed to steal your recipe if you don't measure?
Oh, well, you can't steal this recipe. I'll give it to you. And then we're going to whip those egg whites.
By we, is it Wita? We? You
I'll help.
want me what? No.
Yes. Thank you. Chivalry is not dead in Kentucky, Edward.
It's been a while since I've done that. It's regrettable, but there are certain things that you just can't do by hand anymore because you have to make room for the new things to come in.
Yeah.
So it's
Well, you
kinda-
can't do it by hand commercially.
Yeah.
like restaurants don't define the food community in the United States.
That's a very important point.
Young people are working in restaurants, and if the only experience they have with food is restaurant culture,
Right.
we're screwed.
Commercialization of, yeah.
We are.
Well, and it's funny how, I always think about this. Before there were such things as public eating taverns, there would be these sleeping lodges, and they would cook for you.
Oh, nice.
And one of the things they would cook for you would be a restaurant, and it was basically a restorative soup or bouillon.
Ooh.
So what you do is you go to restaurants to just recharge your batteries so then you can go another 24, 48 hours through this miserable life, and so that's what a restaurant does for me.
You really do have a sense of joie de vivre when you're in the dining room.
It's usually a glass of bourbon.
Yeah, that's it.
Do you like spoonbill caviar?
I love spoonbill caviar.
It has that essence of what caviar is, texturally and flavor-wise. It is just cheap enough where I can say, listen, let's see what we can come up with. And one of the things I came up with was smoking it, which, you wouldn't normally think to do it. But
I've never seen it before, ever.
Well, you're about to see it now. Will you just pull this and just put one finger?
Oh, yeah. That's your cross ventilation.
Yes, and I'm going to release it on this side and just let it go.
It's a tiny little smokehouse.
It is. It's like a mini smokehouse. And at this point, you're just kind of steeping it. So you can leave it for 2 minutes, 5 minutes. But I usually don't go more than 10 minutes. I don't want too much of that smoke flavor. And we take it out.
Wow. It's amazing how it really stays in there.
Yeah.
One more little taste.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's good.
But it's not cooked.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's awesome.
It's a pretty one.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Okay,
You
so
wanna
we're going to
dress
just
it?
smear it with the creme fraiche.
Okay.
And we'll put a little bit, kind of luscious smoked caviar.
Here, I'll give it to you.
Oh, you're letting me do the honors?
Yeah, it's your dish. It's your dish.
Oh, I'm so, I cannot wait to taste this stuff. Right. That's like
Save some for us.
Kentucky spoon bread with creme fraiche and Edwards Special smoked spoonbill caviar.
It's beautiful. Sorghum is something that I've grown to love. It's actually something that I first tasted here in Kentucky. It was a great failed experiment, that sorghum. It was supposed to be the next great cheap sugar substitute. They realized it didn't crystallize, and so it just kind of got pushed off to the side. But there were some people that liked it enough, so they kept growing it. We don't even need it. We have honey and we have molasses, but there are people who just said, damn, I like this stuff, I'm gonna keep growing it. And so generations later, you have this thing where people like me are discovering it for the first time. In my opinion, it was never given the respect it deserved. When I first arrived here, I was actually driving by a road stand. They had tomatoes and stuff. And they had this little jar of sorghum. I'd never tasted anything like it before. It was nutty, a little smoky, much more intense than honey, a little bit more pungent, but definitely not as dark and rich as molasses. I bought the whole thing and I brought it into my kitchen, put it on the kitchen island, and I said, we are throwing out every jar of honey in this restaurant, and from now on, we're only using sorghum. This is sorghum that's been aged in a bourbon barrel for 1 year. It's picked up a little bit of that bourbon note. I really just wanted a dish that was clean, and it was just sorghum. There wasn't a lot of recipes out there. Sorghum hadn't had its renaissance yet. Because I didn't find a lot of recipes about sorghum, I was like, it's kind of an open game. I can do whatever I want, because you guys didn't do anything with it. To me, that's probably the most fun part of my life, is when I have something new and I'm trying to figure out what to make out of it. I don't know what's going to happen to it.
Beautiful. The ice cream's pretty much done. This is basically just cooked grits. So the texture of the ice cream becomes gritty. Make sure it spreads everywhere. I'm gonna put the top on and let it go for another about 10 minutes. It's always still a little bit loose because of all the friction. So I'm just gonna stiffen it up in the freezer for about an hour or so. It's good. It's good. Got blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, a little bit of thyme as well. Put it in there. Yeah, that looks good. It's like coconut cake, just crumbled and dried out a little bit. Coffee. And last but not least, a little croissant. And that is it. Sorghum and grits ice cream.
You think about Kentucky, there's really not a barbecue identity, except for in Owensboro. Owensboro, Kentucky is the capital of mutton barbecue, where mutton barbecue has been a tradition for generations.
Oh my goodness.
So what are we looking at here?
Right here, we've got mutton ribs, and we've got our mutton loin.
That's a pretty big rib.
Wow.
This is where old sheep go to die.
That's right.
I don't know of any other place in the country you can get mutton.
You know, I've never seen barbecue mutton except for here. Apparently, so the story goes, there was a huge wool industry in Kentucky. And I guess part of it is, you know, after they're done with the shearing of the wool,
They got to find something to do.
with them. And they were all old,
Yeah.
so they would just make barbecues.
So they just smoked them for hours, smothered them in vinegar and Worcestershire, and hey, you got an industry. That's good.
Yeah, just mop my finger a little bit, okay? Make like this is a piece of mutton rib.
There you
Thank
go. Now this is a vinegar-based cook and dip.
That is good.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm talking about. That's
Oh,
good.
that is really good.
Spicy, vinegary. Growing up, we worked in fancy restaurants in New
Yeah.
York, and growing up, mutton was like laughable, right?
Not edible.
No, but and also like you would never cook your beans. You know, it's like you blanch your haricot vert.
Everything has to be crisp,
Yeah.
medium rare to rare.
I could see one of my old French chef mentors like watching me now and just crying his eyes out. This is like the height of insulting the old, you know, French system of what food ought to mean.
It's so true. Like, I'm from Kentucky, and I moved to New York and went to school, and then came home, you know, more than 20 years ago, and had to give up on all that.
Hopefully, you can get to a middle place where.
Right. Well, you can
Some
see
of
the
it.
history of your own culture and protect it, and then move things forward.
So the barbecue sauce I make actually has its origin here. This is my 22 ingredient barbecue sauce. I asked every single person here that had a barbecue recipe. Everyone would have a different thing, but they'd tell me one thing, and I'd be like, oh, that's interesting. That's why it has 22 ingredients, because it has everything. It's a lot. I took something really simple and overcomplicated it. So do you ever have a good barbecue sauce that you can't identify layers of flavor? All you taste is one thing. And I think the way to achieve that is by sweating out the vegetables properly. So this is ready to go. There's really no reason for this, but we're in Kentucky, so I'm throwing in bourbon. And I kind of let it evaporate a little bit. Then coffee, the cola. The key to this sauce for me is patience. It's funny because the older you get, the more patient you get with things, which is ironic because the older you get, the closer you are to death. So really, you should be more urgent about things. Chinese fermented black bean paste, and then we have to add a little bit of ketchup. I
cook with less ingredients now, actually, than when I did when I was younger. If I were making the same sauce from scratch today, I'd probably have half the ingredients in it. But would it be any better or worse? I don't think so. It's just a different thing. All of these spices need a little bit of time. They have a powderiness to them, and so you really got to cook it out, or else your barbecue sauce will taste dusty almost. We're gonna puree this. Anytime you blend something, you pump a lot of air into it. And so I don't want aerated sauce. What I do is I just kind of cook it just for a little bit, and then in the meantime, that's it. This is a goat leg. As you can see, after 10 hours, I mean, the bark is just like beautiful. This makes me happy. The idea of a mop sauce can be that you actually use a mop to baste it, but it's also, it's a verb. It's how you put the sauce on, just mopping the meat with the sauce. It's a gentle, delicate thing. Smoked goat with my version anyway of mop sauce.
Part of the reason I got to Kentucky was because I was wandering. And so I never want to stop wandering. But I think the soil in Louisville is pretty rich. If you decide to set roots there, there's a lot of places to go. And it gives you a lot back. Your heart is always going to be someplace where you felt like you became whole. And I feel like I became whole in Kentucky. And so, you know, I hope to always have one foot on some dirt in Kentucky.